Valentine's Day, the day of roses, reservations, red dresses, red ties, filtered photos, and perfect captions. And if we're honest, for some of you, it is the loneliest day of the year. Because Valentine's Day doesn't just show you who you're with, it shows you who you are. Welcome to the mirror. Tonight isn't about flowers. It's about truth. And truth burns before it heals. So let me ask you something. Are you in love or are you in fear? Are you celebrating romance or performing it? Because some of you are holding hands in public and holding resentment in private. Some of you are posting forever while quietly praying for courage. Some of you are sleeping next to someone and have never, ever felt more alone in your life. And here's the academic truth no one puts on a Hallmark card. Romance without self-love lacks intimacy. It is a temporary act for temporary satisfaction. Let me say that again. Romance without clarity and self-love lacks intimacy. It becomes performance. It becomes survival. It becomes habit. But it never, ever becomes home. And here's something I want you to remember. Love that does not begin with self-respect will always end in self-betrayal. Write that down. Tattoo it on your heart and your spirit if you need be, because years, not days, are being lost to self-betrayal. So I want to tell you a story. There was a woman, successful, polished, magnetic. Everyone thought she had the perfect relationship. 10 years in, they could start to see they didn't notice the small silences, the swallowed words, the constant shrinking. She had convinced herself, it's not that bad. We've built so much together. I really don't want to start over. So she stayed. Year 11, year 12, year 13, and slowly she stopped recognizing herself. She stopped laughing the way she used to. Stopped dreaming out loud. Stopped asking for what she really needed. And one night, she stood in her bathroom, looked in the mirror, and whispered, "Do I deserve this treatment?" That question broke her because the answer was no. But she had accepted it for so long, she forgot she had a choice. And here's the deeper question. How many of you are in relationships that are costing you your future? Do you realize you might be holding each other back from finding the person who is actually aligned? Do you realize you may be causing unforgettable damage, not just to yourself, but to someone else who is waiting for your freedom? Let me tell you another story. A man, brilliant, driven, charming, but still insecure. He never felt worthy, so he overperformed, overachieved, overcontrolled. He thought confidence meant dominance. He thought love meant possession. He thought vulnerability meant weakness. So every relationship ended the same way. Her crying, him confused. Another, she just couldn't handle me. Until one day, the woman he truly loved walked away. And she said something that shook him to his core. I can't compete with the version of you that's afraid. That sentence changed his life because insecurity, hidden by overconfidence, is still insecurity. Let me ask you directly. When you look in the mirror, do you really like what you see? Because if you don't, you will never believe someone else does. If you don't feel worthy, you will sabotage the worthy. If you don't trust yourself, you will mistrust love. So here are the questions that matter that I put together for you to ask yourself tonight. Am I ready and available to be in a relationship with someone? Can I bring my authentic self without snuffing out our potential with my baggage? Am I ready to release my baggage for something new? Am I ready to let go of the past for a much better future? Do I trust that I have a better chance for a better future if I don't believe I deserve one? What am I holding back and why? If the person I always wanted, the one who checks every box, walked in right now, am I ready to commit authentically and wholly? Or am I still bringing 50%, waiting for someone else's 50% to make me whole? So let me correct something right now. Two halves do not make a whole relationship. That math is completely wrong. When two incomplete people come together, it doesn't create 100%. It creates 100% missing. Real love is 200%. Two whole people, two complete identities, and two grounded spirits. It shifts, it bends, and it grows, but it never drops below wholeness. And here's another quote for you. Self-love is not selfish. It is structural. Without it, love collapses. Do you know what makes romance sexy? Clarity. Do you know what makes romance intimate? Truth. Do you know what makes romance last forever? Two people who have faced themselves. Because romance that survives past Valentine's Day is rooted in something deeper than attraction. It is rooted in self-awareness. It's rooted in emotional responsibility. It's rooted in this. I know who I am. I know what I deserve. And I know what I will not tolerate. Now, let's go a little deeper. Are you insecure, but hiding it with confidence because vulnerability feels unsafe? Do you struggle with imposter syndrome in your career, in your body, in your relationships? Do you secretly believe that if someone really knew you, they would leave? That belief will ruin love before love even has a chance. And here's one more truth. You attract what you believe you deserve. If you do not love yourself, you will attract someone who confirms that. If you do not respect yourself, you will attract someone who tests that. And if you have not healed, you will attract someone who triggers that. And you will call it chemistry, but it's familiarity. And familiarity is not destiny. It is unexamined trauma. So tonight, look in the mirror, not at your makeup, not at your outfit, and not at your body. Look at your patterns. Are you faking it? Are you settling? Are you afraid to be alone? Are you staying because leaving feels scarier than shrinking? There's no better time to give yourself the gift of love than on a day when everyone else is performing it. Some are doing it, some are faking it, and some are creating it. Which one are you? Because if you start with loving yourself, real loving, accountable loving, disciplined loving, well, you will attract people who have done the inner work, people who do not need you to complete them, people who do not need you to save them, people who do not drain you to feel alive. And if you don't, you'll just keep hopping, kissing frogs, collecting emotional and possibly physical warts, calling dysfunction passion. And deep down, only you will know. The mirror is not for everyone. You know if you know. It is not for the comfortable. It is not for the performative. It is not for the ones who want validation without transformation. It is the one thing for people who feel the burn right now, the ones whose chest is tight, the ones who feel exposed, the ones who know something has to change. If that's you, join our intimate and confidential table talk. Men, women, leaders, and dreamers. Hearts that are ready to remember who they are. This is where we ask the hard questions. This is where we rebuild identity. This is where we stop pretending. Because when you know who you are, you don't chase, you don't beg, and you don't perform. You align. And when two aligned people meet, that's romance. That's sexy. That is sacred. So this Valentine's Day, don't just buy flowers. Become whole. Start by getting to know yourself, loving yourself, forgiving yourself, releasing the past. And when your love for yourself overflows, it will attract someone who recognizes it, someone who matches it, someone who protects it. And that kind of love, well, it doesn't expire on February 15th. Happy Valentine's Day, family. Now go look in the mirror and tell the truth.